jab. Come on, punch. See. One right here. One there, right.
Black eyes, broken teeth, and bruises covering the body are common occurrences for those who participate in the up-and-coming sport, mixed martial arts.
There you go, there you go.
Yeah. A combination of all martial arts styles, mixed martial arts, or better known as MMA, joins all fighting techniques into one unique fighting approach.
Mixed martial arts is just a new kind of fighting style that came out, the development of a whole bunch of mixed martial arts. So you got, stand-up game, ground game, kind of just a combination of all of them put together and kind of just developed into a new sport.
The most intriguing aspect of mixed martial arts is how the sport brings together two people of the same weight but with entirely different styles to compete. The goal is to bring the fight to their level and have a style that can dominate the opponent.
It's everything. Like I said, it's a mix of multiple styles, so there's no actual move. It's just working on the styles that you're not as good at, you work on a little bit more, and then you progress and make better the styles that you're picking up. Your stand-up, your kickboxing, your boxing, you can throw in karate, every kind of, and then move into like Muay Thai kickboxing, and then you work in the grappling, judo, wrestling, everything you can get in, jiu-jitsu. It's a multiple style, so you're constantly working on multiple things.
Aaron Skates, a former Navy rescue helicopter diver, began fighting when he was 18.
I was good at fighting. I trained as a boxer when I was a kid. I took martial arts. Kids wrestle growing up and fight, and I just got into it.
Like many children, Aaron grew up admiring different athletes in the media. Little did he know that the TV icon Bruce Lee would spark a fighting revolution and mark the beginning of a sport that has become his livelihood.
Actually, Bruce Lee invented it in the 60s, 50s, 70s, around there, and then it became an official sport in '94.
It was Bruce Lee's concept of combining the elements of multiple martial arts styles that popularized the movement in the United States. Lee believed that the best fighter is not a boxer, karate, or judo man. The best fighter is someone who can adapt to any style.
When I got here, all was based on Bruce Lee.
Lee used his fame to gain publicity for his sport. Since first introducing it to the United States 20 years ago, interest in the sport has significantly increased. Prior to that, mixed-style contests were practically only seen throughout Europe, Japan, and the Pacific Rim. A strong follower of Bruce Lee, Calazans immigrated to the United States in pursuit of his martial arts dreams, which was to develop a martial arts system similar to that of Bruce Lee.
The Calazans system, based on Calazans karate, kung fu, kickboxing, boxing, and physical arts. And that is the history. A guy who have a vision of traditional martial art combined with everything just is close to the vision that Bruce Lee had.
Predating Bruce Lee's influence, the mixing of fighting styles was first introduced as the Olympic sport pankration by the ancient Greeks in the year 648 BCE. Then, the sport was a mixture of boxing and wrestling. Now, it has evolved to a combination of all styles.
My favorite style is definitely stand-up striking. Like I said, I've done a lot of different styles before, and I've just sort of melded them all into my own sort of freestyle kickboxing kind of.
The teachings of pankration spread to India thanks to Alexander the Great. During that time, a Buddhist monk traveling through India picked up on aspects of pankration and brought that knowledge to China, where it birthed Asian martial arts such as kung fu, judo, and karate. As people branched into new lands, they took these arts and built on them, often creating a new style or form of martial arts.
There's so many different histories to go along with it, like jiu-jitsu has a really long history, and that's just one aspect of mixed martial arts. Muay Thai has a very rich history, and boxing has its own history, and these are all styles that are incorporated into mixed martial arts. So,
combining the various fighting styles has led to leniency in regard to the rules and judging of MMA.
Knee, elbow, kick, punch, wrestle, take to the ground, hit somebody on the ground, you can twist their arm, you can choke them. Anything you can do to make them stop fighting.
Striking your opponent is allowed everywhere except for the groin area. Additional restrictions include no headbutting, biting, or fish hooks, meaning taking one's finger, putting it in the opponent's mouth, and yanking. Also, grabbing a finger and breaking it, known as small joint manipulation, is also prohibited. In addition to professional MMA fighting is amateur MMA fighting. Although very similar, the rules in amateur fighting are slightly different than professional.
The difference between amateur and professional mixed martial arts fighting is you can't punch to the head on the ground. You can punch to the body, but you can't punch to the head. And then also you can't kick to the head on your feet, like if you're kickboxing, where you can kick somebody in the head, and amateur you can't. And other than that, everything else is pretty much legal.
Every mixed martial art event must comply with the athletic commission rules of the state in which the event is being held.
It's most sanctioned by the ISKBA. It's the International Sports Combat Association.
A sanctioned fight means that the state runs the professional organization and it is state regulated. To promote a clean environment for the fighters, all participants are required to go through drug screenings.
Yeah, it's as long as it's a sanctioned fight, there's drug tests and everything, steroids, drugs, any kind of performance enhancing illegal substances.
At the moment, nearly all the states regulate the fights. However, there still are a few that are not sanctioned.
But it's progressively getting better. I know Massachusetts and New York are soon to be sanctioned.
No matter where you're fighting, one of the most basic rules of mixed martial arts is that you're fighting within your weight class. For men, the range in weight is from flyweight, which is up to 105 pounds, to super heavyweight, which is over 265 pounds. For women, the flyweight category is up to 95 pounds, and super heavyweight is over 185 pounds.
There's really no bigger challenge than pitting yourself against someone of equal size and talent as you.
There is one of several ways that a match can end. There can be a decision where 3 judges decide based on a point system, a disqualification from an illegal move, a forfeit, a knockout, a no contest in which both fighters violate the rules, a submission in which one fighter achieves a submission hold and the fighter trapped taps out on the mat, and a technical knockout in which a referee, a doctor, or the fighter's corner feels that the fighter can no longer compete safely. So, in a nutshell, it's judged
on effective striking, cage dominance, and if you just want to knock somebody out or submit them.
Fortunately, protective equipment is required during all fights.
Use boxing gloves, headgear, groin protection like a cup, mouth guard, shin guards for training, and that's basically about it. When you fight, all you wear is 4-ounce gloves, a mouth guard, and a cup. That's all you're required to wear.
However, all the equipment in the world cannot protect the fighters from injuries.
I've torn 2 ligaments in my neck. I've broken my hand. I've broken a couple toes. I've pulled muscles, black eyes, broken noses, stitches in my head. It's about it. Broken teeth. I've broken 6 teeth.
And they're pretty much inevitable. It's impossible to avoid all injuries all the time, but it's just something you have to take with the territory. Dislocated elbows and thrown my back out a million times. Like, that's little stuff. Rolled your ankle. You get little things like that.
Those little things can progress into big problems and should not be taken lightly.
Most people think of your arms, your face, your legs, but you can also get spinal cord injuries, you can get broken clavicle bones, you can get where your spleen can be ruptured in boxing, the extreme boxing that they're doing, all fighting. It's an array of different injuries.
Juliet Kennedy Norton has been a registered nurse for nearly 40 years. During that time, she has seen a variety of injuries.
These are people that kind of live on the edge, and I had spoken with one guy that had done extreme fighting, and I think he broke his nose at least 7 times. I mean, it was so deformed, and he didn't have surgery.
Juliet notes that although fighters may not have a severe short-term injury, the damage could linger for years after.
You can have brain damage. You can have paralysis. You can have cognitive difficulties where your memory is not the greatest. There's a lot of physical ailments that one can have. Forget the broken bones and the deformities you can get if it's really a bad break.
Which makes one wonder, what's the point?
I just want to get in and win. I don't care how bad the other guy looks. That's basically it.